Hi, I'm Dr. Bertice Berry, and I really have to tell you this story. So, my great great grandfather was born enslaved in the lower part of Delaware, Dover, Delaware, Kent County, down in that area. Anyway, his son was also born enslaved, but he was made free by manumission. A letter of manumission, you got somebody set you free. I don't know who did it, but he was made free. Anyway, he became a sharecropper on the farm of a man named John Hunn. John Hunn was a textile merchant and he was wealthy and he was doing really well. And one day his sister, they were Quakers, his sister came and told him, take off that Babylonia's cloak. Thee have been made for more than this. And something struck his heart, and that day he turned his very fancy cloak into a plain coat and wore it for the rest of his life. But he also dedicated himself to God and to the work of God and to what he considered the work of God being to set enslaved people, to set black people free. So he became an abolitionist, and he would escort everyone, the runaways from the lower part of the state up to Wilmington and to the Philadelphia Commission, including Harriet Tubman. Anyway, my great grandfather, John Henry, began to work with him. They worked together, helping escorting these runaways. John Hunn was caught delivering 11, the Hawkins family, to Garrett in Delaware, in Wilmington. And both of them were taken to court and charged under the Fugitive Slave Law Act. Because under the Fugitive Slave Law Act, it didn't matter if you were a state that was free or in a county that was free. If they came from somewhere else, they had to go back. And Judge Taney, who was, Dred Scott decision, was the judge of the case. Now, you were supposed to be fined $500 for escorting runaway slaves. But Taney said he felt that because there were 11, they should be charged per person. And so they were. And so Garrett was bankrupted, and John Hunn was bankrupted. They lost everything. And they sold his farm, and they tried to sell my great-grandfather with it. And somehow my great-grandfather found a Quaker lawyer, a friend, who would take the case. And he sued under the auspices of being unlawfully took. He said he had been unlawfully took. He won, and he took the name Freeman, and that's how my family became Freemans. So he was John Henry Freeman. My mother was Beatrice Freeman. Anyway, I thought of this story recently when I was writing about the Old and New Covenant. And I know people who are living under old covenants. Maybe not the one from the Bible, but the old covenant that said, you're nobody, you're not going to make it, you're no good, you are only going to be what I made you. You can't do more than this. That's stupid. That's not something any of us could do. Nobody from our family has ever done that. You can't do that. That old thing that somebody said over you that created a pact with you and your heart and their words somehow were in agreement over something that was never true. You were unlawfully took, but you are free. And you are free indeed. You are free to be what you need to be, what you see for yourself, what you know is your purpose and your calling. You can take off that Babylonianish cloak and run and do the work that you have been called to do because you're free. And you've been made free by the greatest liberator ever. I love you. And your freedom and your justice and your way and your path and your purpose has been made clear. I love you.